Task 5 talks about complying with regulated record-keeping requirements. Task 5 has 2 qualifying criteria. Let's look at Task 5, Qualifying Criteria 2. Carry out the record-keeping and retrieval of records functionality correctly. In this section, we will go through questions in order to test whether you'll be able to carry out the record-keeping and retrieval of records function correctly. Go through the questions over and over again until you are comfortable with the principles. Thabo and Lerato run an FSP. They decided to use telemarketing or telephone selling to advertise for new business. There are certain requirements that need to be met when contracting a prospective client telephonically. Which one of these requirements is correct? A copy of all such records must be provided to a client within 10 days of such a request. Incorrect. A copy of all records must be provided to a client only on request. It is only when the telephonic interaction results in a sale that the full details of that interaction should be sent to the client in writing within 30 days. What about the requirement to keep an electronic voice logged record or transcript of all communication? Correct. The Financial Intelligence Center Act of 2001, Act 38 of 2001, or FICA for short, requires an accountable institution to maintain records of the identity of clients for a period of 5 years after the date of last transaction. Which of the following records need to be maintained? What about the identity of the client? Yes. What about the documents which were used to confirm the identity of clients? Yes. How long should an FSP keep records in a register, file, electronic recording, or written format of transactions with a client? What about a minimum of 4 years? No. How about 5 years from the date the transaction started? No. How about 5 years from the date of termination of the transaction? Yes. What is the industry standard for the method of storing and retrieving records? What about an electronic format only? No. What about an appropriate electronic format which can easily be converted into a printed format? No. What about an appropriate electronic or recorded format which can easily be converted into written or printed format? Yes. The appropriate format is not limited to only electronic versions. Records can also be kept in a recorded version, especially for telephonic interactions. Which of the following statements is false? What about a record of advice or record of financial needs analysis is required to contain the financial product or products recommended? True. What about a record of advice or record of financial needs analysis must contain detailed and comprehensive information and all material on which the advice was based. False. Full details on the background material used are not required. Instead, a brief summary of the information and material on which the advice was based is sufficient. Which of the following records need to be kept in terms of Section 18 of the FAIS Act? What about records of known premature cancellations of transactions or financial products by clients of the FSP? Yes. What about records of complaints received only in the last financial year? No. What about continued compliance with license conditions? Yes. Which of the following statements is true? What about the FSP must store all records in its premises? False. What about the FSP must store records in an appropriate facility which is safe from destruction? True. What about the FSP must store records in electronic format only in a facility that cannot be destroyed? False. When telephonic advertising is done, what must be kept as proof of a client's acceptance of the transaction? What about nothing? There is no proof necessary. Incorrect. What about a recording of the telephone call or transcript between the client and the representative? Correct. What about a contract signed before Commissioner of Oaths? Incorrect. We hope you enjoyed the video and learned a lot. Please make sure to check out our other RE videos.